Hey, what's up guys? I'm here to show you how to download OBS and to create a recording, like how to record your gameplay and stuff with either just clicking the start recording and stop recording, which will just record the entire thing. And you can also pause it. I don't use that feature much, but mainly what we're going to be going over is the replay buffer. And it's a better way, at least I've found it to be a better way to clip while you're gaming and stuff. And as you can see here, here's the replay time for the replay buffer. I use 60 seconds because I have a pretty good SSD and stuff. I have a lot of storage on it. It's actually running out because I keep clipping stuff and I don't use it. But you can make this 30 seconds, 60 seconds. You could probably even make it 120 seconds, which would be 2 minutes. Okay, so what you're going to do is go to the OBS Studio download page and choose. Currently, this is going to be for Windows and Windows 10 or Windows 11. I don't really use Apple or Linux, so I can't really tell you how to do what I'm about to tell you for all of this. But for a simple, just download the installer. Then you should get this page right here. After clicking into the installer and clicking, I think, next once or twice, choose the destination folder. This is going to go to probably your C drive. I chose J because I already have it on my C drive. Yeah, I mean, it's not really going to let me install it because I have OBS running right now, but just get this installed, and then I'll show you hopefully what it looks like after. So once you get installed, it's not going to look anything like this at all. It's going to, it might be in light mode or something like that, but I'm not sure. But you're gonna have no scenes, no sources, nothing in the audio mixer. Everything's gonna look blank and stuff like that. So what you want to do is first you want to go to your program files in your C drive, then click on OBS Studio, and then go into here and then make a text folder or text document that is titled OBS Portable Mode.txt. I'll leave this in the description so you can easily just copy it and paste it. But really, you're just doing this so all the settings, scenes, plugins are all in one folder. You don't need to put anything inside of the text document. It just needs to have this right here. And then it'll create this config folder, which will have all your profiles, scenes. If it ever crashes, you can see. I'll probably blur all this out, but you'll have the crashes and stuff. Logs of stuff used, I guess. I haven't looked at that much. You have your plugin configs and updates and stuff like that. So all your stuff will be in one folder instead of it all being separated. If you're doing this from a fresh install, this is probably the best way to do it. But if you already are using OBS Studio and you put this in here, it will make your OBS, whenever you go back into it, it'll make it look like it's brand new again. And the way to fix that, it's not too complicated, but you have to do something special. I can link a video that I used to figure out how to do all this. It should be this video right here. I'll just link this in the description just in case you have any problems with creating a portable mode. And the reason to use this is to basically have an easier way to back up your OBS files and stuff like that, just in case any of the plugins that we use today are going to crash your OBS. So if that ends up crashing your OBS, you will be able to go back into the backups that you've made before from this video, and then you can just delete the plugin that caused the problem. So you're probably wondering, what are all of these things right here in the settings page? It's a lot to take in at first, but it's not too difficult. Streaming, we're not going to focus on right now, and mainly because there's a lot more people that know a lot more about this, and same with the recording, but I'm going to tell you some basic level stuff. And then if you want to find out what the best things are to use for this stuff, you can watch a different video that probably has a lot more information in it. This is basically just to get it set up for a replay buffer or a clipping software instead of using something like NVIDIA Shadow Play or even the game bar recording software, which is pretty bad and doesn't let you customize a lot of things about the recording that you're going to be taking. So in here in recording, this stuff will be grayed out if you're ever recording or you have replay buffer going, and you can change it if you have these two things stop. But since I don't have a dual PC set up, you're gonna have to bear with me today. Recording path, this is where you're going to put all your full recordings right here, or the replay buffers are going to go in here. Recording format, use MKV. The reason you want to use MKV instead of MP4 is if you're recording a long video, or if you're in the middle of a replay buffer and your OBS crashes, an MKV will not corrupt. It won't corrupt the video file, but MP4 will, and it's not totally impossible to get that uncorrupted, but it's a much more difficult process. And just make an MKV. You can even go to advanced and then automatically remux to MP4 all of your recording files if you wanted to, but I don't do that because I'm on MKV. In here for video encoder, if you have an NVIDIA GPU, use AV1. That is the best. I believe you need a 40 series or better. Other than that, use H.265. I believe that is the second best one. And then if you have an AMD GPU, I am not sure about that, so you might have to watch a video on that one. So while editing video, I decided to look up the differences in AV1, H.264, and H.265. I'll leave this blog post down in the description, and you can watch this video. It'll show you the differences in the quality of what it looks like and stuff. I mean, I'm not 100% sure, I think they're probably going to be using the same bit rate, and it just shows the differences in the compression methods that they use, how efficient they are. AV1 pretty much is the most efficient when you're comparing it against H.264 and H.265. I think it's pretty good, but it does have the least amount of compatibility. It is getting better, and H.265 is probably the best if you don't want to worry about compatibility issues and whatnot. So as long as your GPU will let you use AV1, I would go with that. But if it doesn't let you use that, use H.265. That is pretty much the best. H.264 has it's good quality, but it's not, like, as you can see, it's not as high as H.264 and AV1. So you can go to this website. It just lays out all the differences in AV1, H.265, and H.264. I think it's a good read if you want to stay informed on what the different encoders are that you're going to be using. Basically, just stick with AV1 if your GPU will handle it, and it'll work for you. If not, just use H.265. It should be pretty much the best. Audio encoder, AAC, I think NVIDIA and AMD have the same thing on that. Audio tracks, we can get into that later. Rescale output. Typically you don't want to do this for recording, because it's going to tax your CPU, I believe it's CPU or GPU more. So just keep that disabled unless you're on a 4K display and you do not want to record in 4K. You may want to record in 1440p or 1080p. Custom mixer settings, I have no clue what that is. If you want to look and see what that is, just type that into Google and then see what other people say about that. But I haven't used it, and I don't think it's not useful for what we're going on and doing today. Okay, for the things that I can actually click on, I'm kind of surprised that I can click on these, but here we are. We have CBR, which is constant bitrate, CQP, which I don't know what it stands for, but I know it's from a value of 1 to 30, and VBR is variable bitrate, which just changes your bitrate from a minimum to a maximum, and it decides on what it needs to be at. And lossless is a lossless bitrate. It basically will record in the absolute best bitrate possible, but it will be the biggest file out of all of the 4 options here. If you want to test all these different rate controls out, I would recommend starting with CBR and then choosing a bitrate of your choice that is meant for the current resolution that you're going to be recording in. So if you're recording in 1440p, I would recommend 35,000. This seems to be the best way to go. If you're recording in 1080p, maybe 20,000. And 4K, I'm honestly not sure. I'd probably say maybe 45,000 to 50,000. Keyframe intervals, keep this at 0. Some people say 1 or 2 seconds. I would just keep it at 0. Let the software decide what it needs to be at. Preset, I would keep this at slower or slow. I'm not 100% sure what this does, but it just, I think it's slightly more taxing on your CPU or GPU. I could be ill-informed on that, but if you want a more informational video on all of these settings, I would just recommend to watch someone else who's much more informed than I am. I'm just giving you what I am using, which I'm using a 1440p display. So these are pretty good settings for 1440p. And obviously make sure wherever you're saving these files, make sure you have a large enough storage. Tuning, keep this on high quality. You don't need low latency or ultra low latency for recording. Maybe for streaming you want those low latencies. Multipass, I would do, honestly, I'm not 100% sure. I feel like 2 passes quarter resolution just because I have it right now and it doesn't seem to affect anything. But like I said, if you want to see what all these different settings do, I will watch a much more informed video. And I can try and link one if I find one that I think is pretty good. Okay, so if you are using multiple audio devices to capture audio, like I have a microphone that is going into the audio mixer right here, and the VM, which is just Voicemeeter. I use Voicemeeter for separating my audio, and I think it's a pretty good option. This video will not be going over Voicemeeter. This is a not too complex software, but it is complex for a first beginner user, especially Potato. This is a very complex looking software, but if you're familiar with it and you're already using it, that's perfect, because that's what I'm using right now. So this is where all of my music and browser audio goes to, right here in the cable output. Elgato, this is my Elgato for if I ever stream or record from my Xbox. Microphone, this is the microphone that I'm talking to. See, you can see when I talk, it does this. And also, it's not a very good microphone, so I'm pretty sure down here, when the white pops up, I think that means it's peaking. VM aux inputs, that is going to be my game chat. And VM input, that's going to be the desktop audio, so all the different audio that happens to your desktop and stuff like that. The reason I like OBS Studio instead of the Streamlabs is, I don't think Streamlabs has this, but in recording, you can separate your audio tracks into different things right here. So include all 6 audio tracks, which are these 6 audio tracks right here. You can tell what audio track is what down here by clicking the advanced audio properties and then going in here and selecting what track you want each of these to be on right here. So after you've gotten everything set up with the recording and audio, go ahead, test it out, see how you like everything and the way it saves. Also, I'm not sure if I went over this, but make sure you choose a recording path on a fast SSD and stuff like that, and keep a reminder on where this folder is for your recording path. And for the replay buffer, all of the replay buffer stuff will go straight into the recording stuff as well. So for the next part of the video, we're going to set up a replay buffer moving to different folders. I'll show you an example of what this looks like. So right here, whenever I go to OBS records and replays, this is where all of your videos that you record long form or you replay buffer them, this is where they'll go. You can see this is the video I'm currently recording. It doesn't have a thumbnail because it's still recording right now. But anything that I record long form will go down here and will be set down here and have a date and time of when it was recorded. And if you use replay buffer, it'll have a date and time as well. That can get very confusing on what's what. You might be able to tell from the thumbnail of what the replay buffer is, but for some things you may not be able to. Let's go into some Fortnite clips. See, they'll have a replay and then underscore. It'll just let you know that it's been a replay. So all of these are in the Fortnite folder, and not all the time they end up here. Things like Discord does interrupt. See, there's a bunch of Fortnite clips in here. Discord sometimes takes priority over your other games and stuff. I don't know why, but that is something that you're gonna have to deal with, and it's not too annoying. Occasionally you have to go into Discord or something like Chrome or Microsoft Edge down here. Some of these will take priority over the main game that you're in currently. Also, you can see something called discovery or application frame host. This is a very annoying thing that is just something that you'd either have to deal with or figure out how to make a different way of finding out what the name of the game is. The way we are figuring this out today is using the replay buffer move to folder right here, and you would just download it right here. You just click this download. It'll go into your downloads. I've already downloaded it and I've moved everything perfectly, at least I think, hopefully. So you would just get this, extract all. I've already extracted this, so I'm just going to delete that and show you what that looks like. So it'll go to a folder that looks like this, or it might have another one of these right here. So you just have to click in to find data and OBS plugins. What you want to do is, with OBS closed, you want to drag both of these folders into your OBS Studio location. If you kept it in the C drive, this is, I believe, where your data and OBS plugins should be. It should just be C drive, program files, and then OBS Studio. Just drag the data and OBS plugins into here, and everything should be set. Okay, and that should be set. Now, whenever you record, whenever you click the replay buffer or you record a video, most of the time recording a video won't do it into an individual folder like we showed. It will end up going into the bottom right down here. But whenever you record on a game and you click the replay buffer, either a hotkey or you go in here and just click this, it'll end up going into individual folders, so you have better organization of all your files. And you're probably wondering, how do I know if I've clicked the replay buffer hotkey? Well, first of all, let's set up hotkey. Just go into settings and then hotkeys. Scroll down to replay buffer, save replay. This can be any key on your keyboard. I'm not sure if it can be a button on your gamepad if you use one or anything like that. I just use the num0 on my keyboard. This can get very annoying if you have OBS launch before you sign into it on your PC, and if you ever use 0, I use 0 on one of my digits in the sign in. So this can activate before you sign in, and will record a clip and whatnot. So you have to go in and delete that So you'll have to go in and delete that file. But if you make this something that you don't really press a lot, you shouldn't have any problems with that. Just remember what your hotkey is. So if you ever have a moment that you want to save, it'll save the maximum replay time that you set right here in the output replay buffer. So, like I said, how do you know, other than the hotkey, how do you know whenever it saves a replay buffer? Well, by default, you really won't. You're going to have to download a beep on replay buffer save, and it's not really a beep. I mean, I think by default it's a beep or a camera shutter. You can either change it from a WAV file or a MP3. I believe MP3 works. If not, you can just do an MP3 to WAV formatting, and that should work. So let's see an example. Okay, this is where I keep all my OBS scripts and the Lua file. This is the best way, I believe, to get your WAV file or MP3 file without trying to include a folder location right here, you would have to probably put some slashes and stuff to let this know where the script needs to look for your WAV file at. But as long as you keep the WAV file and the Lua file in the same folder, it can just draw like this right here. So this is the WAV file that I use. If you don't know Jinxie, then it's gonna seem meaningless, but it'll play this. It'll play that every time I save a replay buffer file. You can change that to whatever you want. It doesn't really matter, but just make it something so you know that that was a clip that you just took. It's just for an easy way to make sure that you're not scrambling around mid-game or whatnot, trying to find out, oh, did I clip this or not? In order to put that Lua file into OBS, you're going to want to go up here to Tools, Scripts, and then Scripts right here. Click Add. Find where you put that Lua file. Click on this and click Open. I've already put it in here, so I'm going to click Open. I don't know what happened if I do that and it is already in here. I don't want to mess anything up while I'm recording. So now that you have that in here, once you hit Replay Buffer, save right here. And see, it just did that, and it'll come down here and it'll say that it saved a replay here. Now this isn't where you're going to find that replay. That replay will be into a different folder. Okay, I found it. It's saved into the Chrome tab. I don't know why. I guess because Chrome's open. It's the biggest window that's open. Maybe that's how it judges. Other than that, I don't know why. But it's saved in the Chrome right here. This is where it's saved, and I don't know if that will interfere, but let's just be on the. So that's at least an example of it showing how it saves. Now, yes, this can get annoying if you're trying to do something and, you know, it's saved somewhere. If you have a ton of folders like I do, you're going to have to go into each individual one. But the best way to find out where this will go is if you're playing a game and you don't have Discord open, it'll most likely go into a game folder. And some of these, like Discovery and Application Frame Host, like I said before, Discovery is the finals. I have no clue why it renames it to Discovery. And Application Frame Host, it should be the Minecraft Bedrock Edition. I don't know why it's called that, but it's just called that. Once you've saved it, you can go into a video editing software like DaVinci Resolve, which is what we're going to be going over today. So all you do is just pull your media into here. And as you can see, all the different waveforms are down right here. I'm just increasing the audio so you can see the difference in them. There's going to be nothing in the last one, nothing in that one, nothing in that one either, and then nothing in the, actually, yeah, there's nothing in that one. Audio 1, remember this is all our audio in one waveform, and as you can see, there it shows different, it'll show pretty much the same waveforms because this is all of it, and this is just my microphone. I believe that's just my microphone. Okay, hopefully that helped you out with creating a replay buffer or a clipping software that doesn't use a ton of resources. As you can see, I'm currently recording and it's only using my CPU 1.7%. That's with recording and with replay buffer active at the same time. So maybe even if you're not recording, you only have replay buffer, this may be like 1% or something like that. Now go into Task Manager. I can show you how much of my GPU and memory is being used. If you have replay buffer active, your memory will be used a good amount because it'll temporarily be saving to your memory. But it does use your GPU some as well. So hopefully this helped you out, guys. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments. I'll try to answer every one of them. And if there's something that I'm not informed on, I will try to look up a video that will let you know, obviously, some of the best recording encoder settings and whatnot. And great. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one.